Okay, so let's talk about notes. What if they could do more than just sit there? What if they could actually think with you? That's what we're diving into today. We're looking at Google's NotebookLM, but not the one you might know. We're talking about the 2026 version, a tool that's basically become this full-blown cognitive engine. And trust me, it's set to completely change how you deal with information.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You're deep into some project, and your screen just looks like a disaster zone. You've got what, like 50 browser tabs open? PDFs are scattered everywhere. You've got a bunch of YouTube videos paused halfway through. It's the definition of modern research, and honestly, it's just information overload. But imagine if you could just fix that. What if, instead of just being a place to dump all that info, your notes actually started helping you make sense of it all? Well, that is the big idea behind the new NotebookLM. We're talking about the 2026 version powered by the Gemini 3 Flash model. It is not just a note-taking app anymore. No, it's a partner in the way you think.
All right, so how does this whole thing work? Well, step one is pretty straightforward. You've got to feed the beast. You're basically feeding this new cognitive engine. And you're not just uploading a few files here and there. Nope, you are building your own personalized knowledge base from like your entire universe of research.
And let me tell you, this thing is built to handle a ton of information. I mean, even the free version lets you use 50 sources for each project, which is honestly pretty generous. But if you're on the premium plan, that number just skyrockets to 300 sources, and each one of those can have up to 500,000 words. We're talking about enough capacity to do some seriously deep, heavy-duty research.
So getting all your stuff in there is super easy. You can upload your PDFs, hook it up to your Google Drive, or just copy and paste website links. But here's the real game changer, the part that's just wow. It's how it handles video. You just drop in a YouTube link and bam, it instantly pulls the entire transcript. All of a sudden, that video content is just as searchable and useful as a regular text document. Insane.
Okay, but what happens when you realize you're missing something? You know, you've got these gaps in your research. Well, that's exactly what the deep research feature is for. So let's say you're researching the Artemis 2 mission, right? And you suddenly realize you don't have enough info on the radiation safety protocols. Instead of having to go open a new tab and start a whole separate Google search, you just ask the question right inside NotebookLM. And it goes out, finds new, relevant sources for you, and suggests adding them straight to your project. It's this perfect, seamless workflow.
All right, so you've loaded all your information in. Now, this is where the real fun begins. Seriously, this is the part where you go way beyond just asking for a simple summary. You're about to have a genuinely smart, sophisticated conversation with your documents. Let me show you what I mean.
Look, the biggest mistake most people are going to make is just typing in "summarize this." It's lazy, and you're going to get a lazy, boring answer back. The secret, the pro move, is to use a technique they're calling the focus and peel method. It's simple, really. First, you focus by asking a really specific question to narrow things down. Then you peel back the layers by asking follow-up questions, digging deeper and deeper into the details. Check this out. We used what's called a gap hunter prompt and had NotebookLM analyze all those Artemis 2 documents. And look what it did. It didn't just spit out a summary. No way. It identified strategic risks. It pulled the exact quotes from the sources to back it up. And this is the crazy part. It even suggested the follow-up questions a real human analyst would probably ask. The most important thing to get here is that it's smart enough to find what's missing from your research. And you can also use it as this incredibly powerful learning tool. There's a feature called Socratic tutor mode, and it basically turns all your research into a personalized pop quiz. It'll ask you a question based on your documents, you give your answer, and if you get it wrong, it doesn't just give you the answer, it gives you a hint based specifically on the texts you uploaded. It's just an amazing way to really engage with the material and make sure you actually understand it.
Okay, so let's recap. You've fed it your universe of information. You've asked it really smart questions. Now for what might be the most exciting part of all, turning all that incredible insight into polished, finished products. And yeah, it's pretty much with a single click.
First up, and this one is wild, is the interactive audio overview. So just imagine taking all those dense, boring research papers and turning them into your own private AI-generated podcast. But it gets even better, because this isn't a podcast you just listen to, it's one you can actually talk back to.
You can customize the whole thing. You want a deep dive? You got it. You want it to be a debate between 2 points of view? It can do that. You can set the length, tell it to focus on specific topics, but the most mind-blowing feature, for me, is that you can ask follow-up questions while it's playing.
You can literally interrupt the AI, ask for more details on something, and it'll just answer you and then seamlessly pick right back up where it left off. It's incredible. And hey, if audio is not your thing, no problem. NotebookLM can also generate a full video overview for you. It takes all your source material and just creates a visual explainer video. We're talking narration, graphics, the whole deal. Perfect for explaining something complex like a spacecraft's flight path. Now, for all the analysts, the number crunchers out there, you're going to love this. This is a total game changer. The Data Tables feature can scan across all your different documents, press releases, technical reports, you name it, and pull out specific hard data points. And then it organizes them all instantly into a perfectly structured table. I mean, just look at this example. In a matter of seconds, it created this perfect comparison table for the Artemis 1 and Artemis 2 missions. And it did that by pulling data from a bunch of different sources. Just think about how much time that saves. This is the kind of task that would normally take hours of just tedious manual work. Gone.
And believe it or not, that is just scratching the surface. There's this whole studio mode, which is basically a full-on creation suite. It can instantly generate, well, pretty much anything. We're talking detailed study guides and flashcards for students, professional outlines for slide decks, mind maps, infographics, you name it.
So when you put all of these pieces together, it's more than just a cool tool. It really represents this fundamental shift in how we do research, right? We're moving away from that chaotic, manual process of just trying to gather and make sense of everything.
Think about it. We've gone from staring at a blank page, just completely overwhelmed, to working side by side with a true cognitive partner. This tool doesn't just help you organize your research, it helps you think through it, it helps you find the gaps, and it helps you create with it in ways that, honestly, were pure science fiction just a few years ago.
What this all means is we're stepping into a completely new era of augmented creativity, of augmented research. And so, it really leaves us with one big, exciting question to think about. When your AI is a true partner, what are you going to create next?